All right, good morning, class. Today we're going to go ahead and continue on our lesson that we started yesterday. We started the impacts of biotechnology on production of livestock, such as cloning. All right, can you tell me, how can these two sheep be exactly the same genetically, but not be identical twins? Or clones. Anybody know the name of that famous?
Dolly.
Yep. She's a very famous sheep. First mammal ever to be cloned.
And where was that performed, Mr. Rodriguez?
We'll get to that in a second.
The headline on the other major news story today, to which we intend to devote some time, is very simple. Hello, Dolly. It's a very long time since a science story on Sunday made such waves on Monday, but with good reason. Dolly is the name of the first mammal, yes, a sheep, ever to be born as the result of cloning. Cloned from an adult sheep in a laboratory. Dolly is doing fine, thank you. She is 7 months old already. And from the scientific community to the water cooler, we human beings have had a future, or seen a future at least, that had only been imagined up until now. If a lamb, why not a man? Our first report from ABC's John McKenzie.
All right, so does anybody see a problem with that?
Well, yes.
Well, it became a big issue with, that
Ethical.
Yeah. That's pretty much what our lesson is going to be about today. There is, I am going to take you out of your comfort zone today. I want to make you think. I want to, pull you out of where you're used to being. I want to make you think. If you feel too uncomfortable, if we're going too far into something you don't want to be in, let me know, and we'll adjust the material. All right.
Dolly is without question a normal, healthy, genetic marvel. She's an identical copy of an older sheep.
People expected that maybe at sometime it would happen, but maybe we've been a little bit quicker than they expected.
Dr. Ian Wilmot and his team of Scottish researchers began with a 6-year-old sheep. They took a single cell from her mammary gland, including its nucleus, the command center containing all the genes, the DNA, that determine the sheep's individual physical characteristics.
All right, keep that in mind. Here in a little bit, as progress through this lesson, we're actually going to go into depth on exactly how the process that goes through genetically cloning the sheep. All right, today we're going to define cloning and describe the 3 different cloning technologies. Earlier this week, we actually went and defined them. Today is just kind of a review, in case you forgot what they were. We're also going to discuss the ethical issues involving in animal cloning. A lot of animal activists are against it, so we're going to kind of touch on that too. We're going to discuss the pros and cons of cloning. There's always 2 sides to the story, so we're going to kind of brush over that and see where that takes us. And same thing, we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the cloning process. And then, there's a lot of misconceptions about cloning. So we're going to go in and see if we can clear some of those up. Okay, this dog right here is kind of going to be the topic of our lesson today. This dog, name's Double Trouble. It's actually a clone of the owner's previous dog, Trouble. And you'll hear her story real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Double Trouble, live here with his mommy, Danielle.
Hi.
Good morning. So you've had Double Trouble for about 6 weeks now?
Yes.
Oh, how's he doing? How's he adjusting?
He's doing very well. He's adjusting. He's adjusting pretty well.
So is it like having Trouble back again? Your original dog?
Yes. I mean, I do know the original Trouble isn't here anymore.
You do know.
All right, pay attention to what she's saying. She's trying to, cover her tracks. She's not trying to replace her old dog. She just wants the companionship that she had with her. She had such a deep connection with her other dog. So she's not trying to replace it. She's just trying to, cover that void, if that makes sense.
Okay,
Yes, I do
okay,
know, yes,
all right.
I do know that he died, everybody I know.
Okay. Right.
But he does, show me a lot of the same, characteristics that Trouble did. He does the same things that he did.
Like, what are some of the similarities?
Well, when I play with him, he bounces around a lot. He likes to lay on the floor and extend his legs out. He loves going underneath the bed, and then when you go near the bed, he tries to bite your feet, and that's exactly what Trouble did.
Why did you? I mean, I'm a dog lover, animal lover. I had dogs and cats. My Jack Russell is 14. I don't even want to think about what's going to happen one day. But to spend that kind of money?
Well, I wanted to do this back in 2005 when I...
Okay, pretty much she paid, it started off at $100,000 is what she was going to pay, because there's, the only people that would actually do it, I think is a clinic out of Korea, I believe, and they would be the only people that were going to do it. So, but she did talk him down to $50,000, which is still a ridiculous amount of money. Alright, so just to refresh y'all on what cloning is, it's the creation of an organism that is an exact genetic copy of another organism. This means that every single bit of DNA is the same between the two. It's almost like an identical twin. Oh, it is like an identical twin. Review. Genetic cloning is what we're going to focus on today. It's one of the 3 different cloning technologies. Pretty much this is just using a piece of DNA from your host, in Dolly's case, Dolly 1, we'll call Dolly 2, it would be Dolly Prime, or no, Dolly Prime would be the new one, so Dolly, the original, is getting a piece from her to make it a whole new copy, and that's what you're doing. Reproductive cloning, this technology used to generate an animal that has the same nuclear DNA as another currently or previously existing animal. This is actually what we're going to go over tomorrow. And therapeutic cloning is also called embryo cloning. It's the production of human embryos for use in research. This is your stem cell. This actually has a lot of promises for future. Once the technology catches up with where we need to be, if the money goes into research of this, you're going to have cures for a lot of your major diseases just by using this. A lot of debilitating diseases, debilitating illnesses. This research here is what's going to help cure those people. But at the same time, it is very, very a lot of people don't like it. Controversial. There you go. It's kind of cheesy, but it actually shows what's going on pretty well. This is kind of what's going on. This is how everything's happening inside, out of their cloning Dolly. That's when there's your answer. No.
No, it was a deer.
The
first deer, right?
Yeah, it was a deer. I think a whitetail. I think
we had the first whitetail deer.
Yeah, it was a whitetail deer that was clone carried. Yeah, it was done in Scotland, Edinburgh, Scotland. Actually, I'm from Kingsville, South Texas. When I heard Edinburgh, I actually thought they did it there in the valley.
No way.
So for like a couple weeks, I was like, telling people there was sheep cloned in Edinburgh. Which, if you knew Edinburgh, nothing ever like this. Probably one of those famous sheep you'll ever meet. Probably besides one off a baby. Alright, this technology is not necessarily new. It's been around for a while. But, you know, when they first started doing it, you know, they were able to get tadpoles, but they were never able to live to mature into frogs. They usually die, there'd be a lot of complications, and it's pretty much, they're really fragile. So what process did they use? What technology did they use to clone it?
Extract from the nucleus.
Yeah, what was that technology called? There's 3 of them.
Therapeutic.
We defined them at the beginning. It's genetic cloning.
Genetic.
Yeah, genetic cloning. If this goes too fast, let me know. We'll pause it so you can catch up.
Set that music down.
I liked it.
I don't like jazz. Oh, it's soothing.
Go ahead and read all the subtitles. It tells you exactly what's going on, step by step. And pretty much what they're doing is they're taking 2 cells, they're taking the nucleus out of one, they start the cell's nucleus, and then they're gonna, right here. Alright, can anybody tell me what's inoculated me? They're going to take the nucleus out of the egg cell. They're going to get the nucleus out of the host, and they're going to stick it in there. And then what they're going to do is, using electricity, they're actually going to fuse it together. It somehow jump starts it to bond. This is right there. Fuse together with electricity.
So, to put this in perspective, how big is what they're working with? Is it like
It
microscopic?
actually tells you, if you look at the second picture right here, the glass pipette they're using is actually smaller than a hair. So, I mean, this is all microscope. Everything's done under a microscope. And you're dealing with some very, very skilled technicians in here. Do I have any cattle people in here? Yeah, it'd be along the same thing as you're trying to flush out a donor cow. You're messing with stuff that's super, super small. So you got to be pretty good at what they do. And as soon as the nucleus takes, what's going to do is it's going to start acting like gametes. It's going to start reproducing, and it's going to grow into land. And what they're going to do is they're going to stick this gamete inside a host mother. So, a surrogate mother is what they call it. Joe, look at this. So, I read, I think it came up earlier. Yeah. So they did not get it on the first try. It actually took 276 attempts before they got it right. So, do you think she died because she was a clone, or do you think it's just natural causes? A lot of people say, she's only 6, which, it's old, but she probably could have lived a couple more years. But, so that's why they're not sure if it's because she was a clone, her immune system wasn't well, she wasn't able to fight off, diseases as well as a natural-born sheep. So, this is up for debate. Did she die because she was a clone, or is it because, she just feels her time? So that's kind of where the controversy comes in. You got your animal activists saying, because she was cloned, she didn't live a normal full life, which she did, and I'm pretty sure she had several offspring. Yeah.
Do they have any records of how those offspring are doing?
I didn't look into it, but I'm sure there is. I mean, 5 minutes on Google, I'm sure you can find something. If we have time at the end of class, we'll do that. Yeah, so this is kind of something scientists want to do, is bring back extinct animals, even the long-gone dinosaur. The thing about that is, when dinosaurs existed back, millions and millions of years ago, Earth was a oxygen-rich environment. There was way more oxygen back then. So they need, these animals were huge. So that probably is very unlikely that they'll bring back a dinosaur like a T-Rex or a Stegosaurus or something. But there have been, attempts to bring back a mammoth. They've actually found an intact baby mammoth in the ice somewhere. And what they try to do is cross it, I think, with a African elephant or something like that, whatever the biggest elephant is. And they were able to get something going, but as far as the technology is right now, there just wasn't enough viable DNA, to make that successful. All right, so we're gonna go into the pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages of cloning. Can anyone, just off the top of their head, of whatever we've gone over the last few days, give me a pro cloning?
You grow body parts.
Animals sick, you can recreate, a lung or a kidney or something and transplant it in.
Well, yeah, that technology existed yet. As far as that kind of technology, I think the best they've been able to do is grow an ear on the back of a rat, or something like that. That's pretty much where the technology is right now. There's kind of, we're waiting for technology to, kind of jump a little bit so we can actually grow a full heart beating, ready to go, stick it in a human. So, there's still a couple years in the future. But yeah, so, we produce an animal with desirable traits. Like I said, I know there's Grand Champion steers. There's steers you can't breed them naturally. You can't have them breed naturally. So what you do is you take it, you got that Grand Champion in Houston, take some of their DNA, make a couple more of them, sell them for lots and lots of money. So you can do that kind of thing. You got prized. It doesn't have to be steers. It can be any kind of animal. You got a Grand Champion or a Triple Crown horse, and you can get another couple horses out of it. That's just desirable traits. Trying to get the best out of quickly. Like I said, it'll increase the efficiency of livestock. You get that one cow who's eating the least amount and getting the most. You're going to clone her. You got a whole herd of very, very efficient cow. Also, losses among endangered species. You got in India, you got your tiger. I think the commercial said there's about 3,200 left in the wild. Or the tortoise, the giant tortoise from the Galapagos. There's like 2 left. Clone a couple more, keep that race that species alive. So research. You find a rat that cures its own cancer. Clone a few more that figure out why. How's it curing its own cancer? What's pushing this rat to do that? That's just an example. Yeah, parents can't have kids, for one reason or another. Some kid for them. And along the same lines, you have a family loses a kid young, either stillborn, right at birth, even up to a couple years old. If they have the money, if they're willing to do that, in the future this could very well be Hey, Bob Walsh. Don's, y'all got any right off the bat besides this one? Anything you see bad about it?
It's not right.
Ethically, yeah.
And it's kind of cheating if you have the grand champion steer and you keep cloning it, you're going to win. You know, you're going to keep winning and winning and
But
winning.
tastes change over time too, you know, what they want to judge change.
Well, that's true. I mean,
And so if you keep on getting the same steer and tastes change, so they want a tall steer.
well, for the first, 2 or 3 years, you're going to
Yeah.
win, and then after that, they're going to catch on, and it just creates a
You're
mess.
a very, very successful showman. What do you think?
We cloned our Charlotte Bull year before I won the San Antonio Stock Show, my Charlotte. Year after, I won
So is that cheating? I mean, what do y'all think?
Well, I don't know, 'cause you.
I think it's
raised it,
cheating,
you fed
but I
it,
think there's
you
a
did it.
definite line when you cross, when you're talking animals versus human beings.
But you're not the only ones out there.
Oh, no.
The show ring, there's people who spend over $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So, there's.
It's been like 800.
If we don't have genetic diversity, then we might not have the diversity to fight off diseases. If everything's the same, then you have something that affects everyone the same.
It's kind of how I look at it, like, endangered species are endangered for a reason. It's because society
What if
has created an environment
What if
that's not
they're?
conducive to
What if it's
everyone.
because of humans? The tiger in India, one of the
You can
best,
change humans,
That's
but it ain't gonna happen. There's nobody regulating the forest, cutting down forest in South Africa,
Yeah, and
India.
then nobody's going to care if you have to clone them. So then people are going to care about it, and then they're going to start, working for the EPA, working for the government, and say this is what we need to control. If everybody just clones, then they're not going to care. It's like, oh, he died. Who cares? Make another one.
Yeah, but then they can make, like, evil people again, another killer. Then I wouldn't want that.
Well, I mean,
And like the tigers, if you repopulate that population.
All
you
right,
have
save
like-
some of this. You're gonna love it for
You cause a lot of problems.
They could kill people, those tigers.
Well, save this fire. Save it. We're gonna use it for our thing.
I never thought about the oxygen rich.
Taking nature in your own hands. Pretty much, you're playing God.
Yeah.
Like on Jurassic Park. You're playing God. I want this with this color eye. I want this. And instead of letting it happen naturally, genetically, whatever, you're actually doing it yourself. So it's kind of working. Religious, moral reasons, like you said.
But isn't when you clone something, you're taking out like, as, let's say, like, let's use a tree for example. A tree grows and it will become, its offspring, as diseases and stuff come, it will become naturally resistant to it. And when you start cloning it, don't you negate that?
I mean,
So let's say it's people, like, let's say.
okay, if you're talking
I'm
about
a human,
plants, we're gonna go over that tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Today we're talking about animals. So if let's say I want to clone
Animals same
myself.
way, yeah.
If I want to clone myself, right now, I believe myself to be a very hardy person. I barely ever get sick. I'm in good physical shape. I'm in good health. You're good enough. I'm not the best, but if I clone somebody exactly like me, they should have everything I have. Should. But with the way things are going, once you clone something, they're not grown naturally. So if something goes wrong, genetic material gets messed up somewhere, a lot of mutations happen, and you get a lot of funky stuff. That's what I'm saying. Technology is not where it's at right now to be cloning a human. That's for sure.
They're not identical.
But like an
I don't think
animal is the same way. It's like you have animals that are adapted to certain climates,
Mm-hmm.
and as the climate changes, they either change with it or they go
Yeah,
extinct.
yeah.
Well, if you start cloning it, well, that environment's not conducive to them anymore as you keep going down the line because it hasn't been able to adapt.
True. Okay, I see what you're
Through
saying.
genetics.
Yeah,
Now,
if
it can adapt through environment,
Yeah.
but not. Through
So I see what you're
genetics.
saying. If I have, if I raise, a Brahma that's used to this kind of weather right now, and I keep use this line of clones, 100 years from now, the temperature out here is not going to be the same. You're not going to have the same instincts. So yes, you're completely right. He hasn't had a chance to develop those immunities. So yes, it will.
Genetically.
Yeah, genetically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be to the detriment of that clone. So yes, you're very right. Physical problems such as birth defects, like I just said, a lot of the clones they using now, actually, reading up on that dog they did, I think only about 5 to 10% of the dogs actually make it to grow. Most of them die at birth.
I've heard their personality is not necessarily written either. Even though they're genetically identical, they may not act.
Well, I mean, think about, the closest thing we got to human clones are identical twins. Do you know does anybody know identical twins here?
Yeah.
Are they the same?
They were a lot alike. but-
They're a lot alike, but are they the same?
They were a little bit different.
Yeah. See,
But that could be due a lot to.
that has to do with, it's called
Genetic.
physical something. I can't remember the exact word, but it's like an environmental thing. It's, I got up at 5 o'clock today, this affected me. My brother got up at 10 o'clock, and this affected me. It's just going to change your entire life. Going back to my high school days, I dated an identical twin. Could not stand her sister. I loved her to death, could not stand her sister. They're identical. I got them mixed up a couple times until they started talking. But yeah, it's all how your environment's going to react, how you react to your environment. So, like you said, characteristics, that dog was not brought up the exact same way as his clone. So that, yes, through nature, yes, they're going to be, slightly to very different.
The lady in the first movie you showed can't say that DNA made that dog lay on the back and stretch the legs out. That's not from the earlier dog.
Yeah, that's
Not
just
the
a
old
dog
That's
thing.
just a dog being
Yeah.
a dog.
It's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
And, it was probably brought up in the same house that the other dog does, so probably learned the same habits, do the same things. So yes, if it's brought up in the same exact house, if she doesn't have kids, so it's brought up the same, almost the exact same way, so that would be very, very similar. But if she had kids when she had the first dog, and she doesn't have any kids, or or is never home the second time around, they're gonna be very different dogs. Mental, emotional problems with the clone. Yes, this goes back to humans. If we we clone a human, are they gonna be mentally stable? Are they gonna be emotionally stable? How are they gonna feel about being a clone?
I'm not me, but not me.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
Think about parents too having to tell their child that you're a clone.
Yeah. How do you go about doing that? Do you wait? Do you tell them they're really young? Do you tell them when they're 18? When do you tell them? So that's gonna mess with the mental and emotional aspect of cloning humans. All right, case. All right, we're gonna break up into 4 groups. Could you participate? Oh, because I have you in here participating. Is that be okay? All right, group 1 is you can be the Reveille group. It's gonna be Miss Hello and Mr. Henry. Group 2 is going to be the Dr. Lofton Brain Trust, Tanner and John.
Brain trust.
I got so much brain.
And then the speakers for the student body, it's going to be the student body president, which is Mr. Rubin, and student body vice president. Right. So we're going to popcorn read through this thing.
Oh, they're all the same?
Yeah, they're all exactly the
Oh,
same.
I thought we.
No. Go ahead and start and just read a few sentences and just pass it to the right.
After 15 years of faithful service to A&M Reveille 8, 13. Terrible. Is terminally ill at the Texas A&M Small Animal Hospital. Mr. Reveille has served as mascot of Texas A&M and has traveled throughout the USA spreading the Aggie spirit throughout the SEC and other conferences. She's gained the love of hundreds of thousands of Aggies all over the world.
She's traveled with the football team to every single football game for the past 15 years. Okay.
We're going to come back.
The mascot Corporal Cadet Smith from Company 2 says that she has been a perfect mascot for A&M, and no other dog could ever come close to being sweet and little plus Reveille 8. Cadet Smith is an animal science major currently taking animal reproduction. Cadet Smith recalled a recent lesson about the possibility of cloning animals.
He believes that this is a very possible solution to continuing Ms. Rev's legacy at Texas A&M. He called a meeting with President Dr. Lofton and the student body president and vice president. The student body president decides to put his decision up for a student vote, Dr. Lawson is worried about the morality and negative publicity of cloning and has a meeting called with the Board of Regents to discuss the issue.
After the votes are tallied up, the student body president has discovered that the votes are split 50% for the cloning project and 50% are against. The student body president also realizes that he and his vice president have different views on the issue. He decides to call an open debate in front of the entire student body to defend their side before having a second vote. Speaking on behalf of the 50% of the students who are for the cloning project will be the student body president. The vice president will be representing the latter percentage of students.
I'll spell redress. Also speaking at the debate will be Dr. Lofton, who will be speaking on behalf of the morality, technological advances of cloning in the United States. Reveley will also be represented by a speaker. The representative will have to think of themselves as a clone and defend whether or not they would be comfortable living as a clone. All right, so this, your groups. Group 1, the Reveley group, Ms. Tello and Mr. Hancock, discuss among yourselves how you would feel about being cloned. You put yourself in the clone's shoes. Make a decision as whether or not you'd be okay with it, living as a clone, and be prepared to explain your position clearly. Go ahead, sir. All right, you're gonna get 15 minutes to do this. I want to hear some good discussion. Group 2, the Dr. Lofton Brain Trust. I just downloaded the video. Yeah, I did. That's actually just on things. I can take that and go with that. Okay, the Dr. Lofton Brain Trust, Tanner and Jonathan. And if Dr. Lark is here, we'd be here too. Discuss how the following questions. Discuss the following questions and try to come with some consensus of them. How might cloning increase the quality of society, family, and overall life? And how might it not? And what is the likelihood of cloning will be allowed in the U.S. and why? My VP and SVP list the pros and cons of cloning and discuss the reasons why they are for or against the cloning project. So kind of talk, figure out what your pros, cons, you can use what we had up there, and you come up with a defense for your side, why you're against, and why you're for it.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Why not?
I'm not arguing like how.
Why is it not, families that are losing, their kid gets hit by a drunk driver?
It was meant to be, and then so you're gonna raise that kid to think like that that never happened. I feel like it's an awful lot to put on a kid. And a family too, like your grandparents were probably old fashioned, so you're like, oh, this is my clone baby.
Yeah. You don't look at it from a religious standpoint, or just a pure morality?
I'm religious, so I think that there's a plan, and there's only so much you can really alter that plan. And when you start trying to alter it too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the dust 7. That's when I just died.
That's what I'm
That's the beginning of summer thing. Really, she's only 3.
You already have.
She's like maybe 5, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
I got written down by
And you can only alter it so much.
I was we're in Alabama for the Alabama game. And I had to run into the hotel we were at, and I was running. And I hear like her collar go, and I look around. She's right behind me. She's just about to scare me to death.
You understand that that's part of life.
So what are y'all thinking so far?
That's what I'm saying.
Kids die, but kids die and go someplace that's better.
Yeah, exactly. It was meant to be, and it has a purpose that's going to affect your life 10 years from now. If you alter that.
And then likewise,
So,
when you
are you arguing the fact that when you
this
become Jewish?
jackass corporal, or
When you
whatever
become
that
libertarian?
is,
I would feel like I always be a time.
that this is
earlier, genetics. I mean, you clone it now and then tomorrow.
So you are looking from the human standpoint. We're going to clone the replicant.
Yeah.
You look at it the same exact way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this guy thinks that this is the best rotary ever. Who's to say the next one will be better?
Very good point.
So if you just keep cloning the same one over and over and over, you're like.
I think it's great for increase in technology, and like you said, somebody does. But then again, you go back to that same point. If somebody has a disease, it's, you know.
From a human standpoint, it's totally different.
Because when you do
as long as
stem
you can
cells-
relate that. But then again, also, like in this situation, I don't think it's good. But in animal, like beef and chicken and stuff for production, and I think that it can be done cheaply.
And if it's healthy to eat,
Yeah.
like it is FDA regulated.
So if y'all, kind of, veering off that, y'all following, all these cattle being, implanted, given, all these additives in the feed and stuff?
Yeah, I'm a big healthy guy. I know
No, I
it's
know.
not bad, so.
I'm just saying, what do you think?
Doesn't bother me.
Are you part of the organic craze?
No.
The only people
Not at all.
that are smart about the organic craze are the ones that are girls.
Yeah, they're usually
They're
not eating.
making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I've
It's just a
been,
label you
I've been
put
to
on
Village
your-
Foods, and they have some pretty kick butt food and stuff.
Foods.
Or Whole Foods, I think. What's the one in Bryan?
Village Foods, 129.
Yeah, they have some really good apple juice and really good pickles there. And they're like $2 too expensive, but I still get it because they're that good.
Well, it's not going to harm you. Physicals, that kind of thing. Like most people think it is.
They have real tuna there? But
I mean, I'm
So-
sure everybody would like to have their own garden and just go pick from it and eat it and just be all
I grew
happy.
up on that.
But,
I grew up on a ranch. We had our own
It's not feasible.
gardens and stuff.
Yeah, it's not feasible for a lot of Americans.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
like to feed my dog the same meal I
That
eat every
thing
day.
stopped
but-
on that 1349 a long time ago. I don't know how to. Okay, so you plugged your Charlotte wool.
Yeah.
How much did that cost you?
A lot.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes.
You can make money.
It just stopped working. I don't know.
If we weren't sure, like.
Technology.
But if you would have won,
Huh? Okay, it's just a website I use.
You still are.
I'll show you how it works.
and it's registered, like when y'all register, it registers as a clone of that?
Yeah.
And so it's like just a copy of this one, not
It doesn't look
offspring?
like it. We didn't like get the same, like, Charlie's are different colors, you get that white gray. It's kind of like a red, light gray.
What do you do when you have 2 registered animals living in the same range that are clones of each other?
The other one's not living.
Oh, okay.
He died.
So the other one was already dead?
He died. and
So you can't have them? That
we took a piece of
is that regulated?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. I have no idea about that part.
Yeah,
Like, if they're registered, what's their registration? Are they 2 different registration numbers?
yeah,
Okay. Just
But it
based
just
on.
says that he's a clone of this one.
yeah. He was the same.
You
Yeah,
get a little
it's not
sen-
like offspring where you follow.
Yeah, but at a steer show, like, you see San Antonio or Fort Worth, and they don't have to say, he's a clone. We
What if-
cloned him for, like, the Charlie that I first year had, he had just insane hair. Like, like, awesome plane, it's just an awesome steer. We were like, we had him again. So we got the dad, and then.
So is that why you clone it, just for the hair, so you can pass that on to
No, we
your
cloned him for
everything?
muscle.
Okay.
He's just different color. He actually is a little bit meaner.
Did you see any differences as far as health? What did he get sick more or less, or?
We didn't have him long enough.
Um,
So he's whole minion.
Terminal shows.
I was gonna say, how do you?
So that person that bought them did not know who was from.
So if I'm,
You can look at it registered.
Is that
and know.
regulated?
what if you take it to the sale barn? Is there any way? I mean, if I went and bought that Charlotte at that sale barn, would I know he's a clone?
Because he's registered, right?
Yeah.
So you would just look
Well,
at
what I'm
the
saying-
The bull, we cloned the bull, and then he had an that steer is the one I showed.
Oh, so you never showed the clone,
No, you don't, you can show the clone,
but you didn't.
but you have to sell the clone.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can sell the clone for straws. Like some people will pay $5,000 a straw for that clone.
Learn something new every day. Thank you, Mr.
Wow.
Raymond, for
You know.
adding to my class. All right, we're gonna assume that it's been 15 minutes. All right, our results and discussion. We'll start off with, I think, group number 2.
So,
State the questions and how y'all answered them.
how might cloning increase the quality of society, family, and overall life? How might it not? We went with how might it not because we both agreed that it will not help increase quality of life, family, or society. And we basically said that, you know, coming from a religious standpoint, morality, everything happens for a reason, and if you alter that thing, then what is, you know, what's the point, you know? Your child dies in a car accident when it's 3 years old. Yeah, it sucks, and yeah, you want them back, but that's going to change your life from that moment 20 years down the line. And if you alter that, who's to say, you know, who's to say the compassion part of human life will probably go away? People aren't going to care anymore.
You're saying humans have become disposable?
Yeah, they're going to become a, you know, an item at anybody's disposal. So you have 20 guys working in a factory, one gets his arm cut off and dies. Oh.
So we're going back to free dating, back to when they used to build the pyramids. Somebody died, they just throw them in there, cover them up. Or the Great Wall of China, same way. There's more people dead under the bridge than I think that actually helped build it. Or it's really close.
Anything else?
But yeah, that's very, very well put.
But I think the distinct difference, we discussed, there's a distinct difference between animals and humans, and we all, pretty much everybody acknowledges that. And so,
Do you all agree? Everybody agree with that?
And then as far as this dog, so because we're talking about this dog, I mean, if you clone the dog, because this guy thinks it's the best one, who's to say the next one that they get from the breeder or wherever they get him might not be better, because he's genetically adapted, you know, just because of the environment and changes and stuff like that. So, and then what is the likelihood of cloning will be allowed in the U.S. and why? I think with animals it will be. Humans, not anytime soon.
Also, I just thought of it would destroy some markets in you know, America as far as dogs, because you know, you got Reveille, we're talking about this dog, Reveille dies, so you go to the cloner or the guy who clones them, you get the dog from him. Well, you know, Jim down the road sells border collies, and he has no way of competing with these cloner guys because they're the replica. So you're going to kill a lot of markets and businesses as well.
So you say it'd be detrimental to the economy?
I think it'd be detrimental to the economy, to human compassion. I mean, there's all sorts of things that would go wrong.
Relationships would mean less. Like, that's where you're going at.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
qualities that you want in that animal might deteriorate over time, like maybe the clone, there is something wrong.
Because I'm assuming the more tiny clones are, the more susceptible it is to mutations, complications, stuff like that. So yeah, thank y'all very much. That was really, really good. Let's go with group 3 and 4. Let's hear y'all's debate. We'll go with Pro first. No, sorry, yes, Pro.
More cloning.
Animals or humans?
Cloning replica.
Yeah, right. That's helpful.
Okay, so basically, you're not really cloning readily for her identical looks, because that's what we call it. Pretty much looks the same.
That's your
So
last
you're
comment.
cloning readily for, you know, readily says look a little bit, you know, not as sticky, and cloning readily for like unique traits, and better hair quality, better stuff like that.
So you're saying Reveille 8's better than Reveille 1? Because Reveille 1 was a mutt picked up on the side of the road after 2 cadets hit her. So you're saying Reveille 8 is better than Reveille 1?
Wasn't there a lot of debate on they wanted to just adopt a dog from a shelter instead of get another collie?
There's always. That's
Every time.
that's always.
I think it's hard, yeah.
Why did they want to keep the dog and something else?
Okay, but yeah, so is that what you're saying? That because she's perfect, pretty much perfect?
Because she's a good dog, you know, they could think that she has such a, I think you can really show that saying, hey, we cloned our mascot. We could be the first people, I think, like I say in university, to show that we cloned a mascot, and there's no other university in the United States that ever cloned their mascot.
So it's beautiful, it's nice. You think she leaves the perfect face, perfect mascot for Anna.
Yeah,
And because she's touched so many Aggies.
It'd be a headway into new,
Something
yeah.
funny that people would want us to try more research, more money comes to this.
Okay, I like your point of view. You know, great. Against.
I'll just be the vice president against it,
Yes.
so, we're a conservative university. In fact, I think we're the second or third most conservative university in the United States, according to an internet search. So with all the conservatives that we cater to, I think it would offend a lot of people. And we have a really diverse campus, so I think it would probably offend a lot of people and their parents, because there's a lot of family marriages within our campus, and the old ags are probably not very happy about it.
Yeah. So based on our votes, 50% said it was okay.
Yeah.
Why are they wrong?
They're hippies.
I think it's a new craze. Yeah, I think it's a new craze with the young people to be, you know,
Rebel.
rebel,
Go against.
yeah.
Go against the grain. Yeah, I can totally see that.
And a lot of people are more willing to voice their opinion, rather than back in the day we were more of like a, you know, you didn't agree with me, but you know, 4 people said yes, so I'm gonna go with the yes guy. You're not, you know.
So you're saying we're conservative, we should not do anything, you know, dramatic like that yet?
Because they could be detrimental to the university, and
If something
maybe
were to go
people got
wrong.
really offended enough that they didn't want their kids going here because they felt the university wasn't going in the right direction. So it could actually lead to a lot of tuition loans.
Well, I mean, you go to morality, you go to, you know, I mean, I can see what you're saying, you know, something goes wrong, you know, she comes out, you know, she dies in a year or something, you know, yeah. Yeah.
And also,
money just
kind of in the value of life, you know, then it kind of diminishes the value of life, you know. Every Reveille's known for something. In fact, Reveille 3, I think, could drink out of the water fountain. And I have a book on it.
That's cool. I mean, that's.
But yeah, so every dog's got a little unique quality.
Yeah, no, you know, like you said, Reveille 7, she was a little mean, but that's what made her Reveille 7. You know, she was, you know, she'd always bark at people on bikes, like bike people. But I mean, I guess that's her character. That's her, you know, that's who she is. That's her persona.
They retire her a little quicker.
Yeah, she actually got out pretty quick.
Yeah, because this is a safety thing.
Yeah.
She kept biting people.
Yeah, I think she bit her handlers all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
And then just new Reveille, she's
That's what
sweet.
I was
It's gonna be,
saying.
the worst thing I've seen her do is chase squirrels and bark at people on bicycles.
These are quad dogs, not slow.
All right, let's get going. We're about out of time. All right, group number 1.
We were talking about, or personally, I would not want to see a clone because, I was not made for who I'm gonna be. Like, you know how parents say, oh, we want another kid. And, you know, they make them to love them. Not, a clone is made because they love the one before. So
you're trying to replace something new.
yeah, I would not feel comfortable with that. And then, Mr. Hancock pointed out something else.
Cloning is not natural.
I mean, that's 100% right. I mean,
It doesn't have a natural beginning. Will its end be natural? I've lived my whole life wondering, am I gonna have an unnatural end?
I mean, those are all very, very good points. Thank you all. Y'all did a heck of a job. Let's go ahead and finish this right up, and we'll get you out of here. All right, $1 million question. We kind of touched on this a while ago. How would you feel about clones entering your food system? How would you feel about, you know, people showing animals their clones? You know, we already, you know, kind of touched on that. You know, horses, market animals, getting the food system, bucking bulls, you know. Is this okay? Is this something we need to regulate? What do y'all think?
I think you need
got
to
about 30
regulate it.
seconds.
I think you need to regulate it, but at the same time, nobody knows what's going to happen to that meat 20 years from now. So that's why I have an issue with it. Yeah, you may know what it does in 2 weeks, but in 20 years of consuming cloned meat, what is that going to do to your system? It's, you know.
So you say there could be long-term effects?
Long-term effects, yeah.
If it stays the same.
Yeah. And this is my 2 cents, and we'll wrap this up. And you kind of started what I was saying. I think it's too young of a technology. This is just my personal opinion. I think it's too young of a technology. I don't think we've had enough time to research it enough. I don't think there's been enough tests done on it to know what the long-term effects are. That's exactly where I was going. Thank you very much.
It's not like an iPhone. You can give one set out and then see what happens when you get a new set. It's for my humans.
Yeah, and I mean, like the cell phone thing, you know, we've only had cell phones for about 20 years. What's going to happen in 50 years from talking on that phone all the time? You know, is it going to put microwaves in our ears or in our brains? Or is it going to give us hand cancer since we're always texting and stuff? So, yeah. So, summary, what is cloning? So, real quick. What is cloning? All right, 3 types of cloning technologies.
Genetic
Mhm.
and therapeutic and
Embryo?
No.
reproductive.
There you go. Pros and cons, we already went over that. Then advantages, disadvantages, we already did that. Misconceptions, you know, we may have very different views on it. But does that mean either of us are one or right? Either one of us are wrong. It all depends on how you think. Today, we did all this. We discussed cloning. We described the 3 different technologies, the ethical issues involving it. We had a good discussion on that. And we described the pros and cons, the advantages, disadvantages, and cleared up any misconceptions. I mean, your personal beliefs are your personal beliefs. It's just what you're going to think. Tomorrow we're going to explore reproductive cloning. We're going to define what somatic cell nuclear transfer is. Research issues that develop from reproductive cloning from a scientific perspective, such as cloning appears to have shorter lifespans. Kind of touched on that today with Dolly dying, you know, a year or 2 too soon. And other disadvantages of reproductive cloning. Thank you very much.